Okay, now I start from the top part of the wine glass, which is mostly the glass. And something that you should consider is that in the glass texture, we have strong contrasts. So I start shading cohesively. And as I was saying, in some parts you can even see a darkest tonality of color next to the lightest one. So we've got some really strong and sharp contrasts in the glass texture. This is actually what makes it look shiny and translucent. Okay? Then I get a paper tissue. You can also use something else, whatever you like. But I'm actually fading this area with my paper tissue. The glass is a very soft and smooth texture. Therefore, it should be created like that. Okay, now from some parts, I should bring some more darker shades. Just as it is. Very linear, in a linear shape. Now, the amount of fading in this area based on the other parts is, less. I mean, the amount of fading for the darkness and the lights, because I told you we should have sharp contrasts. Okay. And then also I would darken this area even more. Just like that. Now I'm going to use my Etude eraser in order to apply the lights into my work. And as I told you, even the lights should be created very sharp. See? Just like that, in here, in this area. And here we go. I'll do the same thing over here, creating strong lights there. Then I'm going to use my normal pencil, and then I start applying some darkness next to the lights that I've just created, so that the lighter areas can show themselves better. You know, when you place a dark line next to a light one, the light one would actually pop out more and it would show itself better. That's why I'm doing it here. As much as we want the contrasts to be sharp, we should pay attention to the fact that we should create them beautifully and in their own placement. So here it goes. And also from here it would be the same. Now, in some parts, I give more darkness to my work. Just like that. And the same way that you can see right now. The process is basically the same. Now I move on to the next part, which is the water or the wine or whatever liquid it is in this glass. So I just apply it linearly, and the texture of the glass is the only texture that creating a specific lines in it, and not only is not a problem, but also it's very okay and it's a part of the texture. So if you pay attention, you can actually and clearly see these lines. Again, I say, because we need a strong and sharp contrast here, we should also show the borders to help with the contrast and all. So this is one of the exceptional textures that if you use a specific lines in it, that's very okay. Now, I come down a little, and from these parts I start shading again. And each one of the reflections that I can see in my glass, I should create it. You know? And in order to create the glass texture, you can also use a live model because, then the understanding of the fact that it has sharp contrast and creating it would be easier and much better for you. Okay? Then I create this reflection over here inside of the glass. Here it is. So, just like that, I easily work in here. Okay, here we go. So, I just shaded beautifully and easily. And you see, up to this step of my work, I'm just using my normal pencil and I haven't got my B6 pencil into my work yet. So no problems there. And also from here, I bring some darkness into my work. And I have it here. And from here also, I bring the darkness into my work. Again, I say. Here it goes. Then there are some lights for these parts, which I'm going to create for you. Okay, now I switch to my B6 pencil, and with my B6 pencil, I start applying the very strong darkness in my work. So I can show the reflection in my work beautifully. So I come all the way up. And then from here, I create the reflection of the glass one by one in my work. See? One by one. Creating all the reflections You see, my dear friends, these reflections can be in any way that you can see them. So you should place them in your work the way you see them. Now, in order to work the glass texture better, I actually advise you that you create your glass texture based on a live model as well. I mean, for example, you just put something, glass in front of you. I mean, put something with the texture of glass in front of you, look at it, and create each one of the reflections that you can see in your work. So, here it is. That's how it's done. And then I get to the bottom of my work. Okay. Then again, I switch to my normal pencil. Then very, very slowly, I work on here. Then I also create the dark reflections, which are also linear and straight. But I'll create all of them. Now, with my B6 pencil, for some parts I apply even stronger darkness. Here it goes. And also from here, I'll do the same thing. I come all the way down with my dark, straight black lines as the reflections of the glass. You see, it's already looking shiny. Okay, so I also erase the extra lines and I erase the parts which I have strong lights there to make my work better. Okay, then I also apply these shadings for this lower area. Okay. So just like that. Easily. Take it really easy. And also from these parts, I'll be doing the same. And then I'll create the reflections one by one the same way that I see them. So I can again say I can just keep that glassy shape of my work. It would be shiny, translucent. That's how it is done, as you can clearly see in my work. Okay, now with my simple pencil, with my normal pencil, I start covering these shades which I've used my B6 pencil on them. All right. Just doing it. And basically the rest of the process is the same as this one. You just have to pay more attention to the details in order to get a better shape and a better result at last. So I mean that you can even finish your work here, but if you pay more to the details, if you pay more attention to the details, that would be better. This would be the background of my wine glass. So here it is. Then I'm gonna use my Etude eraser in order to create some strong lights here, sharp lights in between my darkest spots and my dark areas, of course. Okay, here it goes. Move up and work on here. Again, I increase the light and the intensity of light in my work for the last touch-ups here. And just as easy as that, we actually were able to create the glass texture with some nice liquid inside of it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial as much as the others. See you in the next part.